Now that we have our evaluation datasets, let's talk about metrics or feedback scores, the automated methods for scoring LLM outputs in Opik. Metrics are what transform subjective assessment into quantifiable measurements. Opik offers several types of metrics. Let's take a look at the documentation for this. Number one are heuristic metrics, like exact match metrics, equals, contains, regex matches, is JSON, and then also Liebenstein. This is one that we are going to use. We also have hallucination metrics or other LLM as a judge metrics like geval. So we're using another LLM to score the outputs of the one that we're trying to use for our production application. And then what we're also going to use in our example right now is the answer relevance metric. And then if you don't find the metric that you want or the feedback score that you want to use, you can always define your own custom metric. If you perhaps want to use something from deep checks, you could write your own custom metric class based on the base metric class from the Opik repository. Just define your scoring logic, and then you can use it like any other metric within your evaluation script. And in our notebook, it's really very easy to use the two metrics that we're going to use in our example. It's literally just importing answer relevance and Liebenstein ratio from the evaluations.metrics submodule in Opik, and then instantiating both of the classes. Once again, we can briefly chat about how these metrics are set in the UI. Just to reiterate, anytime we have set up a project, we can see all of the metrics that are associated with each individual trace, just in our overview here, by scrolling to the right or opening up our trace and going to feedback scores. Now this one that I just opened doesn't seem to have any. Let's pick this one. Here you can see the feedback scores, and as I've shown before, if you perhaps haven't seen that video, you can always click in the top right at this little pen icon and add feedback scores to your traces. In this case, I already added the pass-fail metric that I created in the UI. We'll briefly iterate on that also. You can remove this one if you want, if you didn't feel like it was accurate, and reapply it. And then you can always use the filters to filter down based on the feedback scores that you have. Now, to define any of these manual metrics that a human would apply just by using the UI, once again, you would go to configuration, and then you can create a new feedback definitions in here. And this is also where we can see the one that I already created, the pass-fail metric. When choosing metrics to use, consider what aspect of performance matter most for your use case, the trade-off between evaluation speed and depth, and the cost of using LLM as a judge metrics with larger models, because that can be quite costly, especially if you use some of the thinking models. If you would like to use one of them for whatever reason, that can become quite expensive, so be mindful of that. A good practice generally is to combine multiple metrics that capture different dimensions of quality. For example, you might use both a factual accuracy metric and a helpfulness metric to get a more complete picture. And in the next video of this series, we will put this together and run the actual evaluation script. Thank you for watching.